I think it's high time
I have a
you
plan for
learn
that.
Tamil, Sura. You'll have to learn Tamil now.
Preparing myself. If I get a chance to work in this kind of a environment, what would I do?
Welcome to Sri Lankan Cricket Podcast. Today I'm going to have a chat with a very special person who's doing very special things in Sri Lanka. We have been friends for a long time. We have played together, played against each other, and when I left Sri Lanka, he was starting his coaching career. And last time I checked, he was coaching one of the biggest schools in Sri Lanka. And all of a sudden, I see him starting this new, I would say it's a challenge, maybe a new journey. It's something no one has done, no one I know has done. It's a bit of a challenge, and knowing this person, I think he's the best person suited for something like this. Today I'm having a chat with Malinga Surappulige. Welcome to Sri Lankan Cricket Podcast, Sura.
Thank you, Ida. Thank you for inviting me for this special chapter because I've seen few times you and Gaurav doing this, but unfortunately didn't have much time to go through it and follow you guys. But suddenly, sometimes in and out, I've seen few times you guys were doing some good things. So it's anyway.
Uh,
Thank you so much for inviting me for this kind of interview.
no, I'm normally this interview episode we start with what you're doing and how your cricket
Yes,
going, or how you started your cricket career. But I'm very excited to talk about this new challenge you have
new
undertaken.
adventure challenge. Yes.
Now, I've played cricket in Sri Lanka. I mean, I played for my school, and most of the things happen in Western province of Sri Lanka. Most of the clubs are in Western province, and all the training facilities are in Western province. And it's rarely you see someone take up a challenge to go out of Colombo and start something, or take a job outstation, and you decided to go to Batticaloa. So what's happening, Sura? I'll open up to you. I want to
Yeah,
hear what's
yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
It's a kind of a funny story behind this because it's not funny, but it's a kind of a serious from their side actually because this setup, as you said in Batticaloa, uh, now already we know about that LPL setup. Jaffna is already starting to promote some cricket
Hmm.
with their name. Name means like the Jaffna Stallions, and some bigger sponsors comes there and doing some, like this
Hmm.
kind of a promotional stuff and business kind of a, franchise cricket is all about like business, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, these people from Batticaloa, I knew these one of the main people who did this project. Why I'm saying project, I can explain it later on because this who did this project like we known to each other now like almost 16 years.
Right.
The very first time when I was coming to UK to play league cricket over there, he was the
Yeah.
first person who came to see me. I didn't even recognize him as a Sri Lankan because he was like a with a mustache and he looks like a South Indian actor or something like that. So then suddenly he came and said me, "Hello, Malik Muhammad." So he asked me that. So that means like I felt like wow, I found a Sri Lankan somehow. And since that day, we had a kind of a really good bond.
Hmm.
Uh, and that friendship today, it's almost like a brotherhood for me now
Right.
because he was the guy who behind me and basically pushing me. We have this kind of a plan, brother. Can you come and take care of our kids? So the way he mentioned that, take care of our kids, our kids, our kids.
Hmm.
He's away from Sri Lanka, right? So he lives in
He
way
lives
way
in
away
England,
from
is
Sri
he?
Lanka. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's in England, the place called Norwich,
Right.
yeah, basically in Essex County.
Yeah.
So he always used to mention that word, our kids, our kids, our kids. I felt that really, like the warm, like what you call it's a kind of a how kind this person is. He's
Hmm.
talking his own
Coming from
community.
his
He's talking
heart.
about his own community. from his heart.
Yeah.
So, but he was basically he asked me about this whole project and how we gonna do this. If we have a kind of idea to do this kind of a thing, he didn't mention about the whole setup, what they going to plant here, but he was
Right.
just asking me, what do you think about this kind of a stuff? And because with your experience, do you have any idea to do these kind of things like that? So we had that conversation continuously in and out, like every month time or sometimes 2 months time, we having a little chat. So we were talking about this to develop something have never been touched.
Right.
So as you said, this part, he, to be honest, for the first time in my life, I touched Batticaloa.
Yeah.
I have never been to
Yeah.
Batticaloa even in my entire life. So it's very tiny, small country,
Yeah.
Sri Lanka. Still,
Yeah. Yeah.
we haven't traveled Colombo to Batticaloa.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a
So,
shame, to be honest. But however, this person called I call Udaya, so his name is Udayaraj. So he uh, he was like after the what we call the COVID second wave and all. So Sri Lanka was like just getting started to
come out of it.
get going again. Yeah, to move from there. So basically, I came from Australia to Sri Lanka at that time
Yeah.
for some of my personal reasons. At the same time, I was looking for jobs, like coaching jobs. And suddenly, I've got a couple of opportunities to go. Uh, Basically, actually, I was looking for outstation jobs. Like I applied for a Vicious College Matara, Mahinda College Goal, and Dharmaraj College in Kandy, Malaysia
Mm.
College in Kurunagala. I was applying for that kind of structure areas because
Mm.
I just wanted to stay away from Colombo because every single thing is there. As you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier on, Colombo, Western Province, they get everything.
Mm.
But I don't know, it's personal thing, maybe it's the personal satisfaction. Uh, I wanted to serve someone else, someone who not getting much exposure, not
Yeah.
getting much coaching knowledge, and I wanted to do something like that. Personally, I had that dream long time back, even when we played the domestic cricket in Sri Lanka. So, but suddenly, when this person, they are starting to talk to me, like 2 years back, uh, that time I was working for Dharmaraj College, and he said, "Brother, oh yes, what happened was there, like I saw through Facebook, I saw him through Facebook. He has been in Batticaloa
Mm.
for a kind of a ceremony, right? So when I see them pictures, I straight away uh, I uh, I rang him and asked, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me
How
you
would
were
I
here?
come?
So I should have come and I could have come and see you." And
Mm.
he said, "No, no, Mali, I was just here for like 2 days. Did you see our opening? So we opened that the stadium, the new cricket arena. So we
Mm.
newly built to develop use as our developing center to the Eastern Province cricket,
Yeah.
right? So
So just to
then,
give a bit of
yes,
context about the eastern province of
yeah,
Sri
yeah.
Lanka. So hardly, I mean, I've only been there like a couple of times. So you
Ah,
don't
yes,
you
yes.
don't see cricketers coming from that area, and
That area,
that's
yes,
why
true.
this is big. So the listeners
Yes,
who are in other countries, they must be wondering what are we talking about. Is
about this
it's
place,
very
yes.
rare to see people try to help cricketers in those
Mm,
areas. So that's why this is
true.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, keep going.
It's okay. No, it's after that when I wanted to see all the pictures and all. So then I was exploring the photos and all, and then suddenly I seen some beautiful scenes, and there was a kind of a massive opening ceremony with the '96 World Cup legends and some of the guys who used to play even with us. I mean,
Yeah.
someone like Upul Chandana, and even after that, Milinda Sirivardhana. Some players, Chamra Silva. So
Okay.
some of them like that kind of players who was here to
For
play
the opening
like a
ceremony.
kind of a opening what we call like an exhibition match.
Yeah, right.
So it was a kind of a nice atmosphere, nice feeling when I see them pictures. I said, then I spoke to my that Uday. Yeah, I said like it was good. It was a kind of like I can see that something is there. How did you do that kind of a ground and structure in that kind of a place? So then he said like, Malli, I know we've been talking about this. That's why I wanted to know from you all the time. So we were doing something. What not again? As you said the decision I have taken to come here, which is which will not many people gonna take. So and these guys also did the same kind of thing. Because at that time, even in that at that time, Jaffna Stallions and the franchise cricket touching Jaffna and northeast part, basically the northern part in Sri Lanka, but they didn't want it to come down. At that time, again, two people who lives in UK thought in a different way, right? So they promoting their cricket in a business lineup. So we're gonna create our cricket from the grassroots level. To build that cricket from the grassroots level, what kind of surroundings, background we should have. So then they suddenly came up with an idea. Facilities came up with an idea. We need to build a ground. You know, this is the only place who can play. The place we can play turf cricket after Dambulla Stadium. If you move from Dambulla to eastern part, there's no turf grounds, right? So we have four beautiful. It's actually up to now. We have only 4 streets. From the center, we can go like when we put the boundary lines, we can go maximum from the very center. We can go for up to 85 meters to 90.
Oh, it's a massive ground.
That much big, massive ground. So the pavilions, when I see them, basically the dressing rooms and all, when I see them for the first time when I was here, it's totally, we've been in English league cricket, right? So English, it's a exact English dressing room.
All right.
Because since they are from England, they wanted to make exact the same.
They copied it.
So nice.
Replica.
Yes, basically, it's exactly the same. We have a kind of a bar, but we haven't opened it yet because we don't have the license and all. But eventually, it will be opening and club people will come over here. But when I heard all those things from there, I thought like, I was making a kind of a plan. Honestly, when he was saying those things, I was making a kind of a plan. If I go there, if I take some kind of place like that to coach, what would I do? So in my coaching, personally, you know me as a person, what kind of a person I am. So basically, I like to plan some sort of things. Maybe I wouldn't get a chance to even to achieve that. But if I get a chance, what would I do? I'm a kind of a person personally do that from my childhood. So I had that in my mind. And suddenly I've got a call up from Nalanda College to come and work with them as their senior coach. So during that time, we had a little quiet period. We didn't have much conversations because they were in a little rush time period to set things up here. So after the grounds opening and all, so they wanted to make things happen during last year. Suddenly, as soon as I get into Nalanda College, and I had a chance basically to be a part of some kind of a huge glory, so huge team. So we won a Nalanda the big match for after 69 years.
That's a big achievement.
Huge thing. Seriously,
especially you only play 2 days.
We can talk about that.
You only play 2 days, so that's
that's the biggest.
That's very hard
to challenge.
Bring a result from a game
within 2 days. That's really hard. Again, as I mentioned about this the new project. We can talk about Nalanda's what happened in Nalanda later on, I think. So,
We'll
but
get into school cricket later.
we'll
Yeah.
school cricket later. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go on about this thing. And then, as soon as we wound up, when I was in Nalanda, Udaya rang me again, and he was saying me, if you can achieve that kind of a thing within that short time period, why wouldn't you take our boys and take whatever time you need and work with our kids, please, man? That's what he said. Then at the same time, he said, wait, I want to put someone into our conference call. Uh, so then you can have more idea what we are trying to do.
Right.
There was another person who was involving with that, like coming into that call, and we had a conference call that the other person called Vasiharan. So Mr. Vasiharan, and now why I'm saying Vasiaya because I got to know through Udaya. So he was explaining his main idea. Basically, he was the main man. He is the man actually because still funding from his own money from UK to build this. Basically, what he says, our kids, our community, our Sri Lanka. So when I heard them three words, I'm a kind of a little emotional person too, but I felt like we didn't do anything to our cricket yet. But this man on his own did something huge already to build this arena, build this setup and facility for the next generation. It's a kind of a, I don't know. I was speechless when I hearing hearing those words from him.
Yeah.
And what I said, I have nothing much to say, Vasia. Yeah, you tell me what you want me to do. And then he was asking few questions. Then I felt like it was kind of an interview, right? So when he was asking them, not questions, he was asking, do you have any plan? Do you think this is going to work? That like something very, very simple things. But when he asked that question, very first question, because as I said earlier on, I was preparing myself. If I get a chance to work in this kind of a environment, what would I do?
So you were ready.
It was in my mind.
You had a plan.
Yes, it was in my mind. And I had to just explain, right, if you ask me to come and take your kids over there, this is my initial plan. Right? At least we need some time. Then straight away, he said, like, don't worry about the time. You take whatever the time. We just need to see some kind of a little improvement, not day by day, at least every 3 months to 6 months time, some little improvement.
Progress.
You know, it's a progress. So what he was mentioning, I'm not going to tell this because it's not good for our like the main cricketing authority, but they were not happy about that. Personally, I have to tell this.
You don't have to say it. I
what
can
he
say
said,
it.
like,
you don't have to say it. I can say it. I was when you mentioned these things, the first thing came to my head was like, first thing came to my head is like, this is not your job. This is Sri Lankan job to do this, right? And we've seen over the years, we've seen these plans to develop cricket in Sri Lanka. We've seen plans,
several areas,
committees appointed, and after a couple of years, everything goes away and we start again. So we never see
again and again.
We've seen plans about building stadiums in five centers all around the country.
True.
This has been happening for 40 years. Nothing has happened. And these guys, like I haven't seen this in media or whatever. I saw it because you're my friend and you
Yes. That's a part of my job too. Because that we were talking about them. So basically when they come to me, Udaya knew that, but Vazia didn't know I was a banker and I have that marketing ability and that experience, the management skills and all. Vazia didn't have that. But when I explaining my plan, I was telling him, if I start this job, I'm going to start from here, and these are the things I'm going to plant over there, and like a kind of initiatives. So from there onwards, this is how I'm going to work. I explain my plan. right? I explained my
Exactly what we
plan because
need.
I've been ready. Yes, I've been ready for that.
Yeah.
So as soon as when we into that point, he straight away said, Udaya, why we been looking at any other people in Sri Lanka? You had your own friend who can do this, and you've been known him for like 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
You didn't even come with this name. Why didn't you tell me, or like, why didn't you mention his name so we could do that? Suddenly, Wasiaya, because he has some contacts in Sri Lanka. So he was interviewing few people, few coaches. And he was mentioning some funny stories like every single time he called, there was a one coach, right? He mentioned that every single time he tried to call him, he was drunk.
What?
He was drunk, right? That so then he said like straight away I thought this is not the man for the job. So because if he's drunk in this time, he can't do this kind of a job. So that's only one story, but they've been interviewing few people and they've been looking someone who can be suit for this whole setup.
Yeah.
And then with after that conference call, so they asked me, right? It's a I know he was saying like I know Mali, it's not an easy decision to take. Uh, I know that person because you are in Colombo and you are working for some
Yeah.
big big name school and you got all the facilities in Colombo. Your family is there, your friends there.
Mm.
So I know it's not a easy job, easy decision to take. But if you like to take that decision, what we need to provide you? That's what he asked, right? What
Yeah.
we need to provide you. Said, I'm not
Name
personally
your
as
price.
I like yes, I place a bid. I place a bid, but I at the same time I gave my price. But again, even even I gave my price. What he said, it's not just you. It's about every one of us. It's about
Yeah.
your background, your family, and all. If you can't uh, stay away from them, if you can't leave them in Colombo, you can't do this job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
You
have
need
to
you need
pay
100%
something. No,
commitment.
yes, it's like 50-50 from both sides.
You can't. You can't.
Then what they did, they arranged every single thing in Batticaloa to make me comfortable.
Mm.
And then there was another call came from them too. Like again, as a conference call said, we are ready to hire you. Your price is ready, and we know who you are now. Your commitment and your planning, because in this arena, within few years' time, not I don't think because there was a one thing I was asking. Uh, Even after I signed the contract, like verbally, basically, I didn't sign the contract until I come over here, but verbally we had an agreement.
Mm.
Uh, I just asked, do we have a gymnasium in the setup?
Mm.
Then they said like, unfortunately, we don't have a gym over there,
Mm.
Mali. I said, right. If you don't have, that's fine. Just forget about that. We will see later on. You know what's happening? 2 weeks later, Uday rang me and said, we're going to make a gym over there. So when you arrive to Batticaloa, the construction people will come there. So you tell them what you need.
Oh my God.
Just can you imagine? Can you imagine that kind of a people? Like yes, somebody can say they have money,
Mm.
but we know each other.
That's
Like we know as
that's not the
people,
point,
we know
Sura.
people who have money, right? So
Yeah.
we know like there are plenty of rich people in this country and around the world. They live in around the world,
Yeah.
but it's not just all about money. Yes,
Mm.
you have money, but what you gonna do with that money? How you gonna use that your money to develop your own country
Yeah.
and develop your cricket, especially cricket, because both of them are very, very much into cricket. They are very big cricket lovers. So I felt the very first time I touched this ground and the surroundings, I felt these boys, the young kids, are actually they are really blessed,
Mm.
blessed to have that kind of a, people from their own community. Doesn't matter whether they are Tamils or Sinhalese or Muslims or any other religion or ethnicities. They are what they call they are Sri Lankans.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I haven't done even a single person to my country yet. So, but these people have already made huge things to happen in future. Already they have planned. They already they are in an ongoing plan. They only need at that time they only needed to manage all those things together and bring everyone together and work together as a team. If they what they wanted to have is the person, someone who can manage all those things together and develop their cricket, because my job position sorry, they gave me the position of director of cricket. So it's not specifically coaching job, right? So when it comes to director of job, it's like everything. So that's what happens. Yes, now we had a couple of junior games last Sunday. My EPP, that means EPP head means like the emerging player program. That's our youth development program, EPP, emerging player program. So the head of EPP.
What's the age? What age group kids?
We just starting to build up under 13s, because the most of the under 13s moving to 15 now. So basically we have a good 50 under 15 team, and some of them 15 guys just moving to 17 now. So we have like 10 kids under 17 who can play under 17 cricket. And 15, nearly 25 kids.
Oh wow!
And we have another 20 to 25 under 13 kids. So the biggest and the best thing I've seen, them under 13 kids are very, very energetic, and you know, some of them kids, we've been playing some softball games, you know, like the grassroots level. That's what we do most of the time before we introduce the leather ball, hard ball. Some of them can bat right hand, left hand, both sides. It's not wrong grip or anything, wrong bat grip or anything. Proper right hand, proper left hand. Nearly 3 or 4 players there. So then I had to ask them, which side you prefer? That's what they said. We can't do both. We have to wear the right equipment when we go to the hardball cricket. Then some of them says, right, I would prefer right, I would prefer left. The biggest challenge over here is the language barrier. So these kids have a kind of that communication problem when it comes to communicating with me. But again, this cricket,
so they don't speak Sinhala.
They don't speak Sinhala at all.
They speak Tamil.
They only speak Tamil
and English.
Couple of like I would say 3-4 kids, they can understand English well, but they are not ready to speak in English, talking in English. So
I think it's high time you learn Tamil, Sura. You'll have to learn Tamil now.
Yes, and at the same time, you know what we can do, like basically, yes, I'm in a mid-age now, like I'm in 40 years. It's good to know that language, but actually what I'm trying to,
we're already too late, Sura. We should speak Tamil.
Start from 20.
We wouldn't have any of these problems if we.
You may had at least 1 or 2 chances to few chances in your college. At least there were few people who can speak Tamil. At least 1 or 2. In my school, I didn't even have one. And I'm really unfortunate from that side.
What happened in our school is, Sura, because every grade has about 2-3 Tamil classes, right? So
that's why.
But funny thing is that when we mingle with them, what we do is we speak in English. So
that's the problem.
I
think you saw my post.
They learn Sinhala
because they are intelligent than us.
We speak English.
You have to believe it. Yes. They are intelligent. So now what I'm trying to do is I already spoke to my two brothers in UK. I said, because they continuously, every 2 days time, they give me a call and ask, are you satisfied? Are you comfortable? They're trying to make me comfortable here. I said, it's now I have taken the job, so don't worry about my uh, comfortable zone because I'm here to work. Don't worry about that. What I need is your help. If I need something, I'll ask. That when I said that word, some sort of things coming to my mind. Even when we having that conference call at that time, what they said, whenever you need something, please ask. Don't keep it in your mind. Just talk to us and ask from us because whatever you need, if it's in Sri Lanka, it's only 2 days money. If it's in the world, somewhere in the world, it's only 2 months money. We will provide it to you.
That's fantastic.
Can you imagine?
So you have under 13s, under 15s, under 17s, and what about the facilities, Sura? So you said it looks like a ground from England. What about the nets? What about
we got 2 cement wickets.
Yeah.
2 astro means like synthetic astro wickets, and side nets. I'm talking about the side nets. And we got 1 matten side net, and 2 turf nets.
Okay.
So that's just the one. Side nets wise, practice nets, and we got 4 strips, four turf strips in the center, and we got for the Sri Lankan cricket, all the juniors playing under. I'm playing in a matting, so we have a 1 matting surface as well, and the bigger structure we have at the moment, the main pavilion, 156 people can sit in the top tier, and we have our own electricity system, we have our own water system, and every single thing run our
sustainable.
Own. Yes. That's why I'm saying like them people are really good about the vision wise.
Yeah, so they planned it.
Yes, their planning was good, and what made them to bring me here was when they explaining their vision. I had the mission plan to get going. So as soon as when they think we can hire him, but they wanted to see my mission plan to achieve their vision. So it was very, very matching each other.
Yeah. That's what happens when you start doing good things, Sura. You find good people. So that's
good people.
Works, right? It's funny you talk about these things, but that's how it works. You had
and there was one thing I was saying because many people actually asking me, you done your level 2 coaching way back in 2009, so up to now you haven't got your level 3 batch. Why is that? It's a kind of a big question to many people. Personally, I have to tell this. Some people know about this, some people doesn't know. But actual thing was, I had a kind of a personal restriction for myself. Even like when we get the level 2 batch around like 2009, 2010, we were still trying at that time. We were still trying to get into the national cricket setup. We didn't have much planning for the coaching. Even you didn't have that planning for the coaching at that time, because we were planning to play for the national team. And but even when I get that certificate at that time, I thought whenever I'm coming into coaching, I should have a kind of a proper plan when I'm going to achieve the next certificate or get my next qualification. So I was doing some grassroots coaching since 2009, 10, 11. Then had a chance to move to Australia, to Perth, and helping the head coach. I was in Perth with the club called Bessenly. So I was supporting the head coach with some of my knowledge, what I had, and kind of assistant coach role, and then came back to Sri Lanka. And I have a kind of feeling, I had a kind of a feeling, right? This is the time to think whether you're going to stuck with your banking job or you're going to be a professional cricket coach or a trainer or whatever. Because I've been into training path as well. So I was working in training,
you were in the
fitness work and all. So after 2013, I'm told to go and get that qualification too. So anyway, when the first opportunity I got, the same club which both you and me used to play, the club called Tamil Club, and under Roy Dias, the biggest coach you can ever work with, I guess, in Sri Lanka, to be honest. So the name-wise, the experience-wise, as a person, the way he coach, it's really nice. He's a nice person. And what my thought at that time was, I can follow. I've been through this setup as a fast bowler. I've seen some really good spinners, and I used to play with the three genuine spinners. Basically, you can play with like Rangan Herat and Dilruwan Ferra at the same company in mercantile cricket for 10 years. And at the same time, I had Jeevan Mendes in my team. And I've seen how they bowl every single year, like at least 8 to 10 matches, we playing mercantile cricket. So I gained a lot of knowledge, even most of the time, even
just by sharing that dressing room, you learn a lot.
Yes, they are very much doing that. Still, I'm talking to Ranganaya whenever I need something to know about new things about spinning and spin coaching and all. Dilruwan still with a good connection with Dilruwan. So sometimes, like even those days, I was ready to go and ask, why did you put this kind of a field, and what you trying to do? And I was learning. I was basically it was in my inner person. Yeah, learn. And then they were really why they were doing those things, like why they set a field like that, and then how they're going to trap the batsman, that kind of thing. So those experience, I had that experience. But what I didn't have much is about batting, right? So because as a fast bowler or whatever the playing role I had to play during my first class career and mercantile in Sri Lankan domestic setup, what I didn't have much about batting, like how you gonna
don't underestimate your batting, Sura. Remember, we won a game against
no. yes we did that. No, it's not about like,
was it Badurali?
No, like against Badurali, we won that against Badurali, and there was a game we were playing against. No, we were playing against each other. Can you remember that?
No. You and me, we were batting together. For Tamil
yeah, we batted together to win that game, but against Badurali, and you hit the paddle sweep for 4 runs. You played that paddle towards the short fine leg, and we got 4 runs. We got 4 runs to fine leg, and that's how we won the game. But we were playing a match against each other. You and me. You were in CCC.
Yes.
Club at that time. I was playing for Tamil Union. We were like myself and Gihan Rupasinghe. We added 110 runs partnership for the last wicket.
Oh. I remember that.
that was a hell of a game, because I didn't even think that at that time. I don't know, but because you and Sujeeva De Silva and another fast bowler, Ishan Ratnaik. Ishan Ratnaik, all three big guns. And you got 6 or 7 wickets from our side for 60 or 70 runs. Then Gihan Rupasinghe started to chip some runs with the tail. Umesh Vijayasirivaradhan, Surangalakmal and myself, we put nearly 200 and something within that last 3 wickets. So it was a kind of a game like that. Yes, we can bat that with up, but what I'm talking about is how to analyze the batsman. How are you gonna look at the batsman and identified the simple errors. Experience-wise, I would say, even I was in Sri Lanka cricket for a very little time period, for 1 year, and many of our coaches, what they do, as soon as they see a batsman or a bowler, they're trying to make them correct in every single error they can see.
Yeah.
Right? Head, neck, shoulder, arms, legs, knees. They're trying to change every single thing. But what Mr. Roy Dyer said at that time, he said, Suri, uh, just uh, just look at the batsman and observe him, observe him, observe him, observe him. Take time. Don't rush yourself to take a decision. That's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Don't do that. Look at him for a while, and even for a couple of days when you start him as a coach, look at him more and more. Then you will realize there's a one certain point, one certain place. If you make that correct, every other place gets sorted out. Automatically, it will get sorted out.
Little thing.
When I move into then after Tamil Union, I've got opportunity to work with St. Peter's College as an assistant coach and trainer. And after that, I've got a good opportunity to work with Sri Lanka cricket as a district coach from the south. And again, I was blessed and I was fortunate enough because when I moved into Sri Lanka cricket, Roy Dias and Sunil Fernando was the coaches, the head coaches who were looking after the district coaches.
Okay.
And again, I had the opportunity to learn more things about batting. With all those experience, I was coming and I was developing myself. And at the same time, as you mentioned earlier, when I went to UK again to do some little bit of higher studies about sports science and
just like when you play cricket, Sura, you'll have to put in the hard yards in coaching as well to gain that experience that you can pass on that knowledge to the next generation. That's what you're doing.
Next generation, yes.
I think you're doing.
I was mentioning one thing about that level 2 coaching and level 3 coaching because when I come to that the proper professional coaching, I was as I said, like I put a kind of a personal restriction to myself until me finish 1,000 coaching hours.
Right.
Proper 1,000, quality 1,000 coaching hours. I won't go for the level 3 because Vida, as you know now, because you've been doing coaching. Now I've been in this setup for like 10, 15 years altogether. Since you have a certificate, I don't think you're good enough to coach. No. Yes, you can share the knowledge. You can share the knowledge because we've been doing that. Even like when you and me playing together, we've been sharing knowledge. But that's not coaching, right? So coaching is something else. But as like, yes, you have the certificate, you have the level 2 certificate, but you don't know whether you are good or not with the coaching, right? So I wanted to explore more about coaching. Just go and find few things. Like we had the internet facilities and all. Learn more things. Learn from people. Like I was studying on my own and just grabbing knowledge from everywhere. Then when it comes to certain time, like year by year, I was counting my hours and all of a sudden in end of the 2019, I had a chance to finish it, like to complete the 1,000 hours. Unfortunately, after that, COVID and all happened everywhere in the world. So we couldn't. Yes, we couldn't move. We could move, but move country to country. But now I am happy because after 1,000 hours, I have gained a lot of knowledge because I was working on my own plans. I was working with the kids, with the youngsters, and that was a hell of an experience, hell of a journey. Now I'm here with some experience to achieve something good, which not many people will even think to do it, think to go and get like put their hand into this kind of a project. Because yes, all the facilities here help here, but cultural wise, language barrier with the language barrier, and leaving from Colombo to Batticaloa, changing environment, and it's a hard job. Yes, it's a hard task, but as a person who likes to face challenges and like to see some adventure through my life, I think this is a great opportunity to prove Sri Lanka cricket is not all about Colombo gold candy.
Yeah. I think
This is the time.
you're the best man for the job, Sura, and I'm sure you'll do a really good job.
Yes,
I'm going to keep my
I'm
eye
trying
on
my best, man.
what you're doing, and
Yes, you can.
I'll
Yes,
keep
yes,
in
yes.
touch. And
You may help us. You may help us to do it
absolutely,
even further.
absolutely.
One day. Yes, yes, yes.
Next time when I come to Sri Lanka, I'll definitely make the trip to Batticaloa, and
Yes, yeah.
I'll
You
come
can
and
see it.
help
Yes.
you with some
That
coaching.
I'm sure when you come, our teams will be really in a really good position as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you will produce. You will help few young
So
cricketers.
I need to tell this because even we were talking about whole setup and all. This place called Koddaimunai Sports Village.
Yeah,
Koddaimunai Sports Village. That's how it pronounced. So even before I come over here, I was trying to pronounce that name. Like
Koddaimunai.
I got the name from my Udaya, and I said, I need to tell that word properly because otherwise, people would feel I'm from somewhere. I don't even know the name of this club,
Yeah,
Koddaimunai Sports Village, and we have a Koddaimunai Sports Club. So basically, what we're trying to the registration for the uh, Division 3.
yeah,
If we are uh, lucky enough to get that, I think that's a good initiative as well because whoever get the development from junior setup, so we have a club to at least
yeah,
play even Division 3 cricket. So something is
yeah.
there.
Get that experience
So
playing.
hopefully we will be there in near future. We'll see.
Well, I'm sure you will get it because that's the least Sri Lanka cricket can do. Because everything else is done. You have the ground, you have the pavilion, you have the
Yes, yes.
I can't see why they can't do that.
In 2 years or 2 years time, mostly 2 or 3 years time. So what they were planning, they're gonna make a high performance center too. So I have to tell this because when I said them, I'm not going to be a specified coach for a, like bowling, batting, fielding, or training wise. I want to become a high performance coach. That's what I am looking at in my future. So who has the knowledge about managing things and work together with several coaches in like the specific roles.
Yeah.
So that's my ambition. When I said that, I said, wow, uh, our vision and your mission is pretty much uh, like it's destined to be together, destined to be together. That's what they said. Like because the Vasiharan, he have a plan to build a high performance center with the internet facilities, swimming pool, and the gymnasium and the labs. What we don't even have in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Like what I mean, that's great. He knows what I mean, they know where they want to end up, and we just need like-minded people, more like-minded people, and
Yes,
maybe
positive people.
yes, that's what you need. And maybe
Yeah.
if you can find people around that area, that'll be even better. So
Yes.
now the secret's out. So I think it's time to
Yes.
tell the whole world about this project. So if
Come here.
yeah, exactly. So if we have listeners from all around the world. So if they
Yes,
come to Sri
true, true.
Lanka, where can they find you to get more details? So where can they go to check out the facilities? So is there like a
Yes, yes,
website,
yes.
or I mean we can
What
share
we're
the
gonna do is
details.
like with the as I said mentioned earlier on, we are trying to make a nice video with
Okay.
uh, tourism. This is a tourism area from Paskuda to Batticaloa,
Yeah,
and then
it's
the
beautiful.
East Coast is a very beautiful area, and we have so many beautiful places to visit and see
Yeah.
around. And
Unexplored.
whoever loves to come. Yeah, yes, you come to see the eastern coast and you enjoy the beautiful beaches in Sri Lanka. And at the same time, if you bring 11 people, you can play some cricket over here because we have the best facilities to accommodate it. So we are looking forward to have that kind of surroundings and environment. So we're making the video very recently, and we will publish it. So with all the details as you mentioned, the website or whatever. So few hotels and the places they can get into, visit. So and everything will be there.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll share your details in our show notes. So if anyone wants to get more details or want to know more about this project, they can contact you. Then
thank you. Thanks a lot. Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that. So because if you want to help, this is a really good cause. This is a really good project. Your little bit of contribution will help grow Sri Lanka's cricket in far
east.
East.
Starting from the east, so that's basically what we want. Starting from the east to bring these kids to the other parts in Sri Lanka, and then suddenly they will do wonders for national setup.
Fantastic.
So that's the plan.
Thank you, Sura. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us. I'm sure you'll do a great job, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much for inviting me again. Yes.
No problem. It's the least we can do. So thank you so much again. Hopefully we'll catch up again some time and
some other time. Yes.
Progress about your
of this project. Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much, Vidaran.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye-bye.